Yeah, wonderful. Hello again. Yeah, it's Kim and Patricia. We're back with the next status update. I know that I posted the last one only, yeah, this Sunday, and now it's Thursday, and we do the next recording, but this is just how life is. And yeah, but so happy to have another excuse to sit together with Kim and
Yes,
chat. And
yes.
we wanted to make an effort to be a little bit more, because last time we said let's do 30 minutes, that would be a good thing, but then of course we chatted on forever and made an hour out of it. So let's see what we're managing today. We jump right in, we share each a status update, and then Kim will, explain us a little bit what a TheoRafa is and what she's doing there. Yeah, sounds like
Yeah,
a plan,
awesome.
right?
Sounds like a good plan.
Wonderful. Well, Kim, do you want to jump right into it? What has happened in the last 4 weeks?
Oh, it's been a very full 4 weeks, and I've got a little sticky note I'm putting on my little tripod right here so I can try and keep it all straight because it's just been like a lot to try to keep up with myself. So as far as business plus pleasure, the graduates from the Holistic Intuitive Practitioner course, which you and I were both a part of, there was a handful of us that went to Virginia Beach to meet with our instructor and get to meet each other in person for the first time, which for the listeners who may not have been following our story so far, these ladies have worked together and delved into the deepest wounds and heartaches and fears and everything that we have dealt with in our lives for healing, and we all did it remotely, so we never got a chance to know each other in person, although we got to know each other's hearts, but we didn't get to physically hug each other's necks. And so that was really, really wonderful to get to be able to do that. And so in the meantime, as far as just business stuff, it's been pretty busy there as well. I did a t-shirt giveaway, which was just super fun to get engagement with followers and people who were kind of paying attention and following along online. So that was fun. I have grown my Facebook following from, I think it was like 21, and I think I've got like 96 today. So I know
Whoa!
I'm really excited about
Wow!
that. It's
And
really
that
cool.
within a month,
Yeah.
and all organically.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
huge,
Yeah.
Kim.
Yeah. Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you. It's been super fun, and it's kind of one of those things that's like, does everybody that follows turn into a client? No, not necessarily. But then I have to remind myself it's still getting the message out there. And I believe that the content that I'm putting out there is ministering to people and serving people and helping their hearts and their minds be refreshed and renewed. So it's
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah, for
And
sure.
so do you think, I mean, I know that you have several channels, right? You are also on Instagram, and I think last time you shared you work a little bit with LinkedIn
Yeah.
also.
Mhm.
I'm not sure, will you also do newsletters or stuff like that? Or what's your feeling? Will Facebook be your primary channel?
That's a really great question. I think right now, Facebook kind of is my primary channel. I think that um, the niche of people that like my ideal client or whatever that might be drawn to kind of receiving the help that I am able to provide, I think that they're probably more on Facebook than other platforms. And at the same time, there are how many professionals are out there that are just pummeling and doing and knuckling through their day, maybe even very successfully on the outside, but at what cost inside, right? And
Yeah.
so it's just going to have to, it's growing organically, so I'm just going to see how where that goes. Some of my specific plans right now, I want to get some more free resources put on my Linktree website. I've played around with maybe a blog, played around with maybe a newsletter, so there's lots of ideas in my mind, and I just need to kind of sit down, make the time to flesh them out. I'm a big pencil and paper kind of gal, so I need to like
Yeah.
write it out and figure out what the best way to move forward is.
No, just a remark. I mean, it sounded like you have so much fun on Facebook, right? So if that comes
I do.
easy to you, and on top it is where you find your niche, then I mean, yeah, just stick with it, right? I also believe, and I mean, that's what every marketing person says, consistency is key, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And right now, to your point, I'm doing Facebook and Instagram daily. I make sure to always post on there daily, sometimes multiple times a day, but for sure daily. And then LinkedIn right now, it's more of like a weekly thing. But yeah, I'm trying to get myself, and it's not even about being more disciplined. It's just, I think about finding that balance between life and business and everything, to where like on Mondays, for example, I just focus on content creation. So then the rest of the week I can focus more on appointments or networking or other things that come up.
Yeah.
But I do have something super excited to share. And then I want to hop it over to you for you to give your status update. Well, I've had a few more clients, which that's exciting. But the other thing that I wanted to share that I'm super excited about is the
Hold on,
TheoRafa.
hold on, hold on. You had a few more clients.
Yes, I
So
did.
was it new clients? Or, I mean, last time we were celebrating your
Both.
very first client, and now it's like, oh, well, yeah, I had a few more new clients. Tell me more about it.
Tell you more. So one was a new client. Another one was a repeat, and then another one was a repeat. So I feel like I had four, but maybe it was just three. Yeah, but
That's
it's been fun.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's, while, you mentioned my first client, I've been in this space for a while, and I've done, this work for a while, not HIP specific, but as far as like the TheoRafa, but I wasn't doing it as a business. So I just want to make sure to clarify for the viewers and listeners, it's not like, oh, I'm just brand new doing this work. So if anybody's a little bit apprehensive of, oh, she's brand new, I don't know about this. I'm brand new as far as like business, but I'm not brand new as far as this space. Does that
Practitioner.
make sense? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
So
So you
to
have a
that,
little bit of a heads up because I still
yeah.
don't have a client.
Well, but you remember, you are working a full-time job. I am not. This is like my full-time job right now, as far as being
Yeah.
able to devote energy to that. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, good for you, Kim. Well done. And,
Thank
and
you.
and then I interrupted you. You had some super exciting.
I do, yes. And we'll talk more about TheoRafa and what that means and what's going on there. But the announcement that I'm super excited about is that it historically has been just an in-person training and an in-person practice, and it is now moving to an online offering, and I get to be a part of training that. So
No way. How
I'm super
cool is
excited.
that,
Yeah.
Kim?
And the tie-in is that throughout the HIP process, some of the women that I worked on, I included the TheoRafa like in my framework to see if it came up, and then I would get permission and I would use that modality. And there was a handful of women who were like, hey, this is really good, and I would like to learn how to do it. But at the time it was only in person, locally. And I'm like, well, and so I had a conversation with the woman who created it, and ultimately the Lord put it on her heart a few months later. Yeah, that's the next step for this modality. So super excited to do that, and that's going to be like sometime next year, so stay tuned, more to come.
Wow. Good
Yeah,
for you.
thank you.
Practitioner, teacher, what's next? I mean, 2026, you become a teacher. What's happening in 2027?
Ooh, I don't want to even think that far ahead, because just
Wow,
enough step
Kim.
for the step I'm on.
I mean,
But
those are huge milestones, Kim. Those are not just steps. Those are like, whoa, good for you. Well done. All the
thank
hard work is paying off, and all your dedication and all your
thank you.
talent. Amazing, Kim.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. It's very exciting, and it's been a long journey coming. And I recently heard about a particular type of bamboo plant where it, like, you see no growth at all on the surface, but underneath for 6 years the roots are growing. 6 years, and then all of a sudden it grows something crazy like 33 feet in 6 weeks. I'm probably like butchering the actual detail, but it's something crazy like that.
You can watch it grow.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
literally. I mean, you can sit there and watch it grow. Yeah,
Yes. And
yeah.
so for me, it's a little bit like that. Like God's been working on me so in depth wise in terms of roots and establishing roots. And now I'm finally like starting to have the accelerated visible growth on the exterior. So it's really exciting.
It's so funny because with my gym teacher or the fitness trainer who also rehabbed me after my accident, we were talking about it, and he calls this the hockey stick effect. That for a while you are progressing like this. Maybe I should do a recording with him about it at one point. You grow like this, and suddenly you make a big jump up. But for me, the topic that came up, it was about aging, because that's part of my check-in now. Um, um, because in the past weeks I met so many people who were, I didn't initiate that conversations, but I had the same experience that during spring at one point I woke up and I felt like, wow, I'm 5 years older, literally from one day to the other. And I met so many people in the past weeks that were reporting the same thing. One is my dad, who's 82 years old. Another one is an 82-year-old lady, but then also 4 or 5 people my age, right? Um,
Mhm.
and so the hockey stick effect also goes the other way around.
Oh,
But
shoot.
no,
No,
but
no.
it's also so actually a really good life lesson, because there's so much stuff we're building up. For example, someone trying to lose weight. There are so much habits, stuff you need to figure out, get back into a fitness routine, sorting out your hormones, sorting out your stress level, but also a huge mind aspect. So it's like you put in so much work, and then only after a few months, the hockey stick effect kicks in and you actually drop the weight,
Yeah,
right?
I love that. That's what I'd never heard that analogy before, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, so let's turn tables now. And what's your status update? I know that you've been super busy traveling.
Yeah, I've been super busy traveling. So, yeah, but I have to say, from our last conversation, something that you mentioned was like that you are in the allowing space. And in the
Mhm.
past 4 weeks, that message finally clicked for me. I
One,
understood it, I heard it, but I didn't hear it,
yeah,
if that makes sense. So
yeah.
finally it clicked. It clicked. So, I mean, business wise, yeah, I have to start a brand new Facebook account, because my current Facebook account is linked to my old work. And
Mm.
I was managing a hotel back then, and I mean, it's an innocent hotel. We offered yoga and surf retreats, right? But as Facebook is always updating their algorithms, one of our old ads we didn't even run anymore for 2 years or so, suddenly didn't comply with their new rules anymore. So they shut
Mhm.
down my ad account because it was running on my Facebook account. So um, I needed to start that brand new, and I wanted to wait until I'm in the US, because guess what? When you are in the DR, in the Dominican Republic, you're already suspicious for something, right? So
Yeah.
that's why I finally was able to create a new personal Facebook account last week. And now I'm just taking it very slow in setting up my business page, so that I have a proper Meta Suite business update and can schedule posts instead of having to do everything manually. So, yeah, that's been a very tedious process. And yeah, and the other part of my business update was really more the inner work that has happened, like this thing of allowing, because I was really like, oh, I also want to have clients, and why can't I post regularly? Why can't I, yeah, why is everything so slow? And then I was like, no, you really need to learn that lesson of allowing, and just show up consistently the way you can, and it will come, but don't force it, right? So that was a huge lesson for me, and finally it clicked. And yeah, so I indulged in a surf trip, my first vacation since 10 years probably, in Costa Rica, and that was really, really nice. I met a lot of cool people. The surf camp was just, yeah, such a wonderful experience. Yeah, really cool. I learned so much about surfing. It opened a total new dimension about surfing for me, and also a lot about myself again, because surfing is such a big mirror for me of how I show up in life in general. Because, the ocean doesn't care. The ocean just
Yes.
slams it right into your face, all the lessons you need. So be ready or not, right? So
Yeah.
again, I was allowing much more. I took good care of myself. I took a lot of naps because they let us surf maybe for 3, 4 hours per day, and then theory classes and so on. So it was really, we started the day at 6 a.m., right?
That's a full day.
It's a full day. It was a
And
full
it's
day with
active.
stretching and everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But a fantastic experience. And yeah, then I had a few days back here in the DR, and then I was on that workshop for work. That was also just such a wonderful experience. Because on the one hand, I also realized, I'm just throwing out there a number, but we were selling, or I was part of the back end. I did not facilitate or anything. I just did all the, helped with marketing, put it on the website, did all the email outreach, social media posts, and then, go and then vetting the applications, because it was an application based workshop, so vetting the applications, right? And I was like, hey, we are selling the most expensive ticket for that workshop. It's a 4 day 3.5 day workshop. We're selling this for over $5,000. And also realizing, hey, I can sell a ticket in that range. That was something like, it's a mental barrier I realized I didn't have, that I needed to overcome, if that makes sense. So I let that sink in. Although it's not my product, but of course I'm part of the product. But like selling something that is on such a high rate was like, for a 3.5 day workshop, that was like, hey, I can do that, right? Take a mental note, subconscious mind, let that sink in. I can sell something like that. So that was really cool. And during my day job, I work for a nonprofit organization that deals with awareness-based systems change. And part of this is also a modality called social presencing theater. And theater in the sense of seen and being seen. And
Mm.
there's also an embodiment practice part of it. And that was co-invented by a wonderful meditation teacher. She's just so fantastic. So I took full advantage of all those practices, all her teachings. And she also had a meditation practice with us each day on top of all her embodiment work. It leans a lot on family constellations and Gestalt therapy. So it's a big mix of a lot of embodiment somatic how do you call that, modalities, that social presencing theater, to change entire systems. But the smallest unit of a system is still one human being. So we also did a lot of self practice, right? And on top with her meditation, that was just very nurturing for me, and just learning so much from her as a facilitator was beautiful. Yeah.
I have to hop in real quick. Do you feel like that experience helped you with the leaning into the allowing?
No, that already started it was really a 3-week process. It started with the surf camp. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was a little bit similar for you when you were traveling to Virginia Beach, although knew the girls, but still, traveling and then all those social anxieties that come with it, being stuck with a new group of people. So there I was already consciously practicing this allowing, because there are a lot of how do you call that? New uncertainty factors the psyche has to deal with in such a setting, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I have to comment also. I love that you came to the conscious realization, hey, I can sell a $5,000 ticket to this product that you are
Right.
a part of. And I have to I also caught you said, well, I didn't help with the facilitation of anything, but you were just right. And then you listed all of these amazing things that you were a part of. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention and have your subconscious pay attention to that as well.
Oh, thank you, Kim. Yeah,
You're welcome.
thank you. Yeah. Yeah, and it was a wonderful workshop. I mean, the group was just amazing, right? I mean, usually there's always one, I mean, in both trips, also in the surf camp and there, but it's just natural that when you are in a group with maybe 5 people plus, that there's always a little bit of friction, right? But in both trips, nothing. The group was just so, everybody was 100% in, everybody was 100% caring and supportive of others. That was just so amazing, so nurturing, so nice to experience. Yeah.
It sounds like even though one of the trips was work, the other pleasure, they both worked towards your greatest good in terms of providing you the environment that you needed for personal growth
Yeah.
and revelation.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about flight cancellations though, but that's just a reality.
It's just life. That's the
That's
hockey
just
stick,
life.
right? That's just a little divot in that hockey stick.
In that hockey stick, just a little dent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kim, what is our outlook for the next 4 weeks? What is there something we're working on, you are working on? I mean, I don't want to be like, well, we need now a new milestone or so. I think already consistency is just such an underrated
Yeah.
goal, right?
Yeah. Consistency is a big deal. For me, for the next 4 weeks, and I had kind of forgotten that we had that part of the conversation within our kind of talk here. So I'm like, okay, what's my next 4 weeks? Well, I know within the next 2 weeks, I don't want to say partnering with because I'm providing a resource for a conference, a Christian mental health conference that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. So got to focus on getting that resource put together and provided over to the organizer of that event. In about a month and a half, I'm going to be doing a seminar at a church conference, middle of October. So I need to put that together, but it's on transformation from the inside out, So it's along the same lines as my business stuff, and so pieces of that will probably also show up as either resources on my website or, you know, content that I post on social media. In addition to, I really need to work on still my website in terms of getting testimonials up there. I mentioned some different resources that I want to include. So those are the lofty goals, right? We'll see exactly what pans out, because I know that for me personally, part of the challenge or the learning curve is some pieces of the technology, like the design and software and things of that nature. I still feel like are taking a lot longer than I would like them to. So,
Mhm.
and at the same time, I was looking through my probably like 20 plus tabs that I had open on my computer yesterday. And I've learned a lot in terms of technology from where I started to where I am now. So it's like simultaneously, all right, I've got more to go and look at how far I've come. So it's a good
Right.
balance. Yeah.
Yeah. Good
How
for
about you?
you, Kim.
Thank you.
For
How about
me,
you?
I have one add-on actually, in terms of report, because I was talking to one person at the workshop who was in very bad physical pain. And naturally for me, I mean, I was asking for permission, but naturally for me, I saw her thyroidal field.
Yeah.
So even though I was not really working on that person, I was working on that person, right? And trying to flush out something with her, yeah, in visualizing or going into her thyroidal field. So that was kind of cool to see, because I didn't even had my material with me, the crutches we have as practitioners. I didn't even plan on working on anybody, but that this just came up naturally. That was kind of cool. And yeah, for me, I want to finally get my meta suite set up this weekend and then get into a consistent posting routine.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's the end of summer break, so I'm currently really swept with my daytime job. And I think a big goal, if I achieve that, to post consistently 3 times per week, as soon as I have my meta suite set up, that would be huge, right? And
Yeah.
the cherry on the cherry on top of the cake would be to get another interview in, because in the past during the summer I had a few other interviews. One was with the grief doula, one was with our sweet Emily, and
Yeah.
then also with the nutritionist. So that would be cool if I would get another, besides our chat, if I would get another recording. Ah, yeah, we also did a recording, of course. We also
Yes,
did an
we
interview.
did.
Yeah. So that would be cool if I would get one of those in.
Have you thought about topic wise or who you would like to interview next? And it's okay if you haven't, but do you have any thoughts?
There is something in the pipeline, but we shifted the date several times. But I would love to talk to an astrologer.
Yeah. Oh, I remember you saying that last time we
Yeah,
talked. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That would be. I think that's a fascinating topic. Yeah,
Well, your interviews have been fantastic. So I
they're
am
so
excited
much
for more
fun,
of that.
right? Like
Yes.
ours.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and Kim. But there, I think I need your, like, Patricia, don't chase shiny objects. But part of me would like to create a kind of a subscription community at a later stage around accountability.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
This
there's a
could,
need for
in
that.
terms of a marketing funnel, it could then later feed into, I mean, I think my HIP sessions and a subscription around accountability and habit building could complement each other.
Yes.
But this is
Yes.
something thing where I'm like, building daily habits, where I wish I personally had a few people around me with whom I could exchange and who could keep, and we could keep each other on track. So it's like a self-serving product.
But that's what makes it so beautiful, right? Because you already know the need is there because it's lived experience for you.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
I
a
have a
book.
few tools around it. I
Yeah.
think we all have, but the limiting factor is always like, well, if yeah, it's so boring to do this alone. I don't have any accountability
Yeah.
unless I practice being accountable.
Well, I was going to say, now I haven't read this book, so I can't speak to its effectiveness, but it's one that I have recently been recommended to me by a friend. It's called Atomic Habits.
Oh
And
yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah, you
yeah.
know the one that I'm talking
It's
about.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I downloaded it on my Audible app the other day. I listened to like the little preview and it hooked me. So,
It's
it sounds
brilliant. It's
good.
brilliant. So I have a lot of tools from him. And also years ago, I read a book on weight loss, and she was brilliant, Martha Gray, A 4-Day Win. So she's like, if
Ooh.
you can do anything for 4 days. And once you do it, so chunk it down into a step that you are sure you can do it for 4 days, and then just keep going. And then just keep going.
Yeah, just that 4-letter word. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
impactful.
yeah. But this would be a brilliant starting point already, right?
Yeah,
So,
it
yeah, I
would.
need to wrap my head around it if I would, yeah. But that would be so cool. I mean, that would be just so helpful to have it doesn't have to, I probably also would limit it to 8 people, including me,
Yeah,
just to be like really productive, like
yeah,
to be really accountable. So you have no chance to, it's only for the hardcore committed people.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be so many people that you could like sneak through. You know what I
No,
mean? Yeah.
no,
You'd
no.
be front and
And it would
present.
be also prepaid, so it has to hurt in the beginning because I don't want tire kickers. I
Yes,
mean, I'm really serious about that. And I
yes,
would pay too, if that makes
yes,
sense. Yeah,
yes, yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Ooh, I'm excited to see how that unpacks and unfolds. So uh,
yeah. And I had another thing, but I forgot about it. So I guess we're busy.
We are busy, but it's all good things. It's all good things, right? And we have the built-in ability to pivot as we need to, as other things, as we practice and lean into our allowing. As new opportunities come up, we can also allow ourselves to, you know, be flexible and ebb and flow, like you learned with the ocean more at your surf trip, right?
Now it comes back to me now that you said that crucial word practice.
Mm,
That was also a big outcome of for all attendees of the workshop last week. We are just practicing being human. Just keep on practicing,
I
right?
love that.
Yeah.
There's so
Because
much
some
grace
real
in that.
extension, I mean, this is a high level workshop on executive level. So there came some real existential problems up for people.
Yeah.
People really brought their, and it was such a beautiful revelation. Like, what does it mean to be human in such a world where everything is falling apart, right? Yeah. And it's just like, well, just practice being human and show up. That's more than enough, right?
Mm,
And I also have one goal for me, which, because in parts of that, I'm not sure even if it's from the Atomic Habits book, but from a psychological level, what really keeps people sticking to habits or improving their lifestyle is progress, tracking progress.
yes.
And I catch myself a lot in negative self-talk.
Mm,
And the goal for the next while is like stopping that immediately. I know I need a session around it, but that's part of the when we close this that we find a date
yes.
to
Yes.
to trade sessions, HIP sessions. Um, but I'm consciously reminding myself every day to sum up all the progresses that I made in the day. So, and
Mm.
when I catch myself in negative self-talk, um, I have to flip it into progress. What was the progress part of this?
I love that. And I have to ask, are you just doing it mentally or are you writing it down, like journaling it or something?
Yeah, I mean, journaling would be so beneficial. I 100% agree, but I'm taking only bullet point notes at this stage, and that's already, and I want to do that. I work on doing that consistently.
Yes.
But yeah, writing it out, I haven't gone that far yet.
And that's okay, right? Because, and I haven't read the Atomic Habits book, but I've heard about the 1% rule, which I'm assuming is something similar in terms of you just make a tiny little change in your life. And then over time, that changes the entire trajectory, right? Think
Yeah.
about like a car or an airplane. If it changed its trajectory like 1% or 1 degree, it would end up in a completely different place.
Yeah, and also imagine, the 1% you're putting in today is still 100% more than you did yesterday.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I mean, he has great examples, where people followed his methods for a year or two, and one guy was just starting out with, for the next week, every evening at 7 p.m., I put on my gym shoes. And then the
Mm.
week after, I leave the apartment but go straight back in. And he built that up until he was able to complete a 5 mile run every evening, for example. But
That's
he
amazing.
was forcing himself to do not more than putting on the gym shoes for a while, the
Yeah.
running shoes for a while.
Yeah. Well, and from an HIP perspective, that's developing new neural networks and new neural pathways, right? And so you're going to have less
Yeah.
and less resistance the more you step into and embody this is who I am, not
Yeah.
oh that's somebody
That's a
different.
huge thing. That's a huge thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of our work, right? That a lot of people don't have a mental model for, if we stay to the weight loss example, they don't
Hmm.
have a mental model of how would it feel to have the weight of my dreams or the shape of my dreams, right?
Yeah.
So, and that was also a really cool conversation I had with my fitness trainer this morning. because he acknowledged that part of that hockey stick effect, it's not only the habits you build or the hardware around it, so to say,
Mhm.
like not everything that enters your body and the work you're doing. No, it's also the mental effect. And as we know, parts of that mental effect are also resistances, like you not having a mental model for what it be to live in the body of your dreams be like. And other resistances, like maybe your mom always told me, oh, she just likes to eat, you know, she will never be thin. She was just like, oh, you're sad, come get some chocolate, you know, those, you know, I mean,
Yeah,
those are also all part of this is ingrained in you, right? And this is the part where we as HIP practitioners, amongst others, come in.
yeah,
But that's all part of that hockey stick effect. And yeah,
yeah.
just to say that I think, yeah, this accountability group could be a nice complement. The accountability and the HIP work, I think they complement each other really well.
Absolutely, because then if there's somebody who's, stuck in an area, right, then that's where your skill set could come in to help get them over that hump and really help move them forward. Yeah.
Yeah, or once we cleared those resistances and that person just doesn't know how to really now live that,
Mm-hmm.
then the accountability group can come in.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
really great. That's a brilliant idea. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Well, my clock is over there like yelling at me.
Ooh,
You
it's
guys need to
ticking.
hurry
It's
up. It's
ticking.
ticking. It's ticking.
Well, my dear, how much time do you need for the TheoRapha thing? I don't want to
Not
cut you short.
No, I don't need a ton of time. And it kind of depends like how deep we want to go into it or what questions you might have, and what comes up.
Okay.
So I can just kind of give just unless you had something else you want to talk about, I can just kind of start and give a little bit of an
Yeah,
overview and then just kind of go from
and
there.
then we go from there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's amazing. So it's called TheoRafa and it means God heals. And so really it's a combination of several different modalities. Parts of it are based off of neuro-emotional technique or NET. There's some elements from emotional freedom technique, EFT, which some people might know it as tapping. There's also thought field therapy, elements of spiritual warfare. So it really pulls from a large variety of things, but it's rooted in energy psychology. So, in other words, we all have meridians that are the energy channels and pathways within our body. And emotions, being energy in motion, can get stuck in different organs, different meridians, different pathways. And then this TheoRapha is a modality that we can go in and identify where those emotions might be stuck and let me unpack that a little bit more. The reason why they can get stuck and I know that you know this, but for any viewers out there that may be new to this type of ideology, um, again, emotions are energy in motion. So it doesn't even have to be like some big super trauma for you to choose not to process something. Maybe you had a fight with your mom or your spouse or your friend and you had to go to your work or school and you did not have time to cry or to be angry, like you didn't have time to fully feel those emotions, then they can just simply get trapped, kind of like a sponge that absorbs water. Unless you have the time to kind of squeeze it and wring those out a little bit, it's going to continue to hold that water. And it only takes about 90 seconds to actually feel an
Yeah.
emotion to let
And
it go on.
yeah, just to add on to this, and sometimes we don't even know how to process, and we don't even know that something is stuck, you know, that there's still some water left in the sponge. If you don't
Yes.
have a reference system for it, how should you know that there's something trapped? Or,
Ex-
yeah, yeah, just
exactly.
to
And
add
and
on to that.
I'm so glad that you did because I think something that I know it's true for a lot of Westerners. I can't speak obviously for the remainder of the world, but I think it happens a lot in Western culture. We're not taught really how to honor emotions, how to acknowledge them. I think a lot of people go to numb. It hurts too much, that it's too big of a feeling. Or I know that I personally, when I was younger, was told, don't be so sensitive. And so I was, not the emotions weren't validated. And no disrespect to the individuals who told me that, but that was just something that I learned in my growing up years that then carried into adulthood. And so with the TheoRapha technique, it's really, it starts with prayer, and you invite God and through the power of the Holy Spirit in to anoint the muscle testing, to guide the process, and just really pick out the spot in the person's life that needs to be dealt with. Of course, the client comes with maybe a particular situation. Hey, I've been dealing with this, or I've been feeling this, or there's this pattern in my life I keep experiencing. It doesn't matter what I try. I'm not losing weight, or I can't, my finances are a mess, just anything, right? And then so through this framework of muscle testing and prayer, the emotions are identified that are kind of stuck in the body and keeping this pattern looping, or keeping this person stuck in that certain pattern or existence. And then ultimately, the thing that really sets this modality apart from so many others out there is, of course, we then release the emotions by holding certain body points on the body, the organ point, and then different aspects of the head to kind of connect the subconscious and conscious mind to allow that release to happen for those emotions. But then the thing that really sets it apart is the spiritual element. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is rooted in our woundings, and we all have woundings, right? We get our feelings hurt, or maybe there is like a big trauma that we experience, but it doesn't have to be. The enemy will come in and take advantage of those woundings. For example, maybe somebody says something that makes you feel really insecure and not very lovable, and maybe not enough. And so the enemy, at a subconscious level, mind you, this is not conscious. And so your subconscious is like a 2 to 3 year old little child who just kind of like doesn't really know much else, right? But will come in and whisper a lie. And for example, you really are really stupid, or you really should have known better, or you're not worthy of love. And so it's these agreements that when our subconscious agrees to, then starts that looping pattern. And from my perspective as a practitioner within the TheoRafa framework, those agreements ultimately, when they're contrary to the word of God, then that gives kind of an access point for the enemy to come and wage spiritual warfare or keep us stuck in those areas. Mm-hmm. So for example, and I'll just use a personal example, and this wasn't found out through TheoRafa specifically, but it was through a different prayer that was prayed over me. I was stuck in some areas of my life, and ultimately what was revealed was the emotion of condemnation. And the person doing the prayer was like, well, Kim, you don't seem like a very condemning person to me. And I'm like, no, I'm like the least condemning person that I know. And then all of a sudden the clarification came: self-condemnation. Mm-hmm. And then right on the heels of that was the Bible verse that there is now therefore no condemnation for those who are in Christ. So I was agreeing with the enemy by agreeing that I was being judgmental over myself, when the word of God says, no, Kim, you're already free. You're sanctified. There's no reason for judgment here. And so that was like an access point. So what TheoRapha works to do is identify those agreements, and then through the power of prayer, break those agreements. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm like way oversimplifying this, right? There's different aspects to it. There's forgiveness statements that are super simple, and we'll go through one here in a minute. There's different elements to, for example, it's called an algorithm, where we use eye movement. So it's part of, I always get this mixed up, EMDR, eye movement. Yeah, I always say it backwards. So yeah, eye movement, desensitization and reprocessing, along with tapping, emotional freedom techniques. So it's really beautiful because it works to first remove the emotions that are in the way. It then works to identify what agreement is there, what's keeping this pattern there, what's keeping it looping, breaking those. And then finally, the final piece is any type of refinement or pouring in creatively emotions to replace, kind of equal opposite, right? If there's something, for example, that shows as a recurrent emotion as it deals with the future. Like, I guess this is just always going to be this way. I guess this is just who I am. Then we don't want to just leave the person feeling that way. So we'll
Yeah.
come in with the power of prayer and kind of identifying the equal opposite emotion and envision God pouring that in. So it kind of taps into that visualization thing that we do within the holistic intuitive practitioners as well. But again, just speaking to that subconscious. And to me, it all goes back to Bible verse Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And again, speaking from a biblical lens, for any Christians that are out there, the way that Jesus was tempted in the Bible after he had fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, the devil came and tried to get him to agree. If you fall down and worship me, I will give you, dominion over XYZ region. And so I just love that this is a physical framework and modality that aligns so well with biblical truth and freedom, because Jesus
Yeah.
came to set the captives free.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like a mouthful.
I mean, I'm just, that I'm not religious, and at the same time, I'm just so amazed on your capability to break this down so in such a concise yet deep way. Number one. And B, it sounds like a very holistic method as well.
So first of all, thank you for that validation, because I know that you're not religious, and which that is completely fine. And I know, and I'm assuming that probably a lot of the viewers for your particular channel may not be religious either. And so that was my goal, was to unpack it in a way that had it make sense, both from a Christianity biblically based lens, but it also from a, a non-religious lens, but also spiritual. Because whether I and you can weigh in if this is something that tracks or not with you, but I think that most people could agree, whether you want to say it's Satan, the devil, or just some enemy of our soul, that there are dark forces and light forces out there. And so it's something I think that could potentially resonate with everyone.
Yeah, and also, I mean, yeah, for sure. And what I'm still resonating with is like, those little lies we tell ourselves, how that opens the door for other lies, or for, you expressed it as the evil that comes in, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
But I really love that first you unclog you get the negative emotion out, you process, and then you, yeah, set the person up to a path of more resilience and give them
Yes.
something on the way. It sounds very holistic and well-rounded.
Yeah, it really is. And it's interesting for me because I have included that like within the framework of for holistic intuitive practitioner like framework. And it's so beautiful because they operate so well in tandem. A lot of times because and I don't know, is it just because this is my calling and gifting, or is it just I don't know, but this I end up in the TheoRapha oftentimes. And
Yeah,
yet yesterday I was working on someone, and it was okay, part of HIP, then TheoRapha, then back to HIP again. And it was just
yeah,
really a beautiful balance and a beautiful blend of the
yeah.
power of both modalities. Yeah.
Wonderful. And
Yeah.
you alluded also already something to a little sneak peek or exercise we can do together.
Yes, 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 yes. So I think what we'll do first, and we'll just see how time is in terms of if we dig deeper. Forgiveness is a big part of, I would say, not just Christianity and Christian faith, but I think just in general, it's something that I think everybody could agree with, that when we are unforgiving, it ultimately just hurts ourselves because we're
Yeah.
holding on to emotions. Resentment, I think, is a special one that comes up in my mind in terms of getting stuck in the gallbladder and liver. And if you look into traditional Chinese medicine at all, you can dig deeper into what organs can correspond to what emotions and how they get trapped. Well, the reason why I wanted to talk about the forgiveness model in terms of TheoRafa is that Sometimes the emotions at the beginning of the session when we're going in and identifying emotions and clearing them, sometimes they won't clear. So I'll test after each emotion to see, okay, did it clear, did it not? Most of the time they'll clear, no problem. But every once in a while, it won't have cleared. And when that happens, we use a forgiveness statement. And the forgiveness kind of comes in almost like a street sweeper. I don't know, probably in the DR, you wouldn't have street sweepers for snow, but here in the United States, if you get a lot of snow, there'll be a street sweeper that comes in and, you know, pushes down some salt or some ice melt to just kind of clear the path for traffic to be able to come through. It's that same kind of idea with the forgiveness statements for the emotions. And so that's what we're going to do today. Just kind of, because this is something that anybody can use anywhere. It's super simple, not complicated. Okay, so we're going to start with the pinky, and I'll put it up close. And where we're going to tap is just this space right here where the skin meets the nail bed. Okay. So this is where we would tap if we need to forgive someone else. So sometimes, let's say I was late for this call today, Patricia, and you were really frustrated with me because you had another call coming up or another client. So you could say, and sometimes, and I will test if it's a subconscious, my subconscious forgives Kim for, or I forgive Kim. So I is going to be your logic mind. My subconscious is obviously, you know, rationally you forgave me for being late, but subconsciously, like, dang it, I really am frustrated with her. And sometimes it's both. So for the purposes of our conversation today, we'll just say all of me. You're taking notes. I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and start.
It's such a cool aspect if the subconscious has forgiven while yeah.
Yes. Well, and I always go back in my mind. I just think of like a two or 3-year-old little version of me, like folded arms, stomping foot. Well, I don't wanna, you know, I'm mad and I'm allowed to be mad and you can't make me not be mad, that kind of thing. So while you are finishing that up, I'm going to go ahead and start tapping for the viewers at home. And so the client or the person would just say, all of me forgives Kim for all the ways she made me frustrated. And you can change it up. And you want to say it out loud. All of me forgives Kim for not respecting my time. All of me forgives Kim for being late and making me feel rushed. So you're just going to say that statement 3 times, and then you're going to tap on the side here and just, I usually have clients say enter. And again, this is for the polyvagal nerve. All of this is dealing with the meridian system, which is the energy pathways. And so it's tapping into your nervous system to calm and relax your nervous system. And it's helping to release the emotions that are like that. I don't want to let go of this. This is keeping me safe. This is part of my identity, and I deserve to hang on to this.
Yeah.
And it's funny because even though, I mean, I wasn't late for our call today, but I was more rushed than I wanted to be. And so as I'm doing this and saying this statement, I felt my body relax. So it's really kind of cool how that works.
Yeah. This tapping is so powerful. I mean, it's like, yeah. And I know we're already over time, but how would it be if you forgive yourself? Because what ultimately comes up that people then blame themselves, well, why was my subconscious mind holding on to that? Or why was I mad at the first time? And just to bring an example, but I believe that forgiveness always comes with, like, you also need to forgive yourself ultimately.
I love that you asked that question because there's actually 2 more fingers that are involved, one of which is forgiving yourself and the other is forgiving God or source or universe or however a person needs to address that. So to forgive yourself, it's going to be the pointer finger. And again, it's just tapping on that space where the nail bed meets the edge of the finger. And again, it's either I or my subconscious or all of me. So all of me forgives myself for the times I didn't know better. All of me forgives myself for the times I didn't know better. All of me forgives myself for the times I didn't know better. And then again, the side, enter. And for those folks that might know EFT or emotional freedom technique, this is also called the karate chop point. And you can do it either hand, it doesn't matter. Same effect. And you know, I'm giving specific examples just for the demonstration, purposes today. But in a session, I would work with the client and also test to see, okay, forgive for, is this the best statement of what they need to forgive for to get this emotion to clear? Or, is there something better? Sometimes the verbiage needs to be oddly specific. Sometimes it doesn't. It really, again, just depends on how the person's body has stored that and what needs to be forgiven to kind of, that street sweeper analogy again, to let that street sweeper move forward to clear that path for that emotion to kind of move fully through. And then the last one, and this just cracks me up, but it's the middle finger. And so it's kind of like you're flipping off God, but I mean, you're not, right? But it just makes me giggle. And I think God has a sense of humor. So this one is either going to be, I forgive God for, or God forgives me for. And again, it could be my subconscious, or it could be I, or it could be all of me. So, let's see. All of me forgives God for, making my healing take so long. All of me forgives God for making my healing take so long. All of me forgives God for making my healing take so long. And then enter again. And yeah, that makes me kind of want to tear up and cry a little bit. And I know you feel it because I saw your face shift a little bit. For the viewers that don't know, I've had a 2-year healing journey, and it's all glory to God, and it was all for a purpose, and it's helped me to understand and be a much more effective practitioner. Go check out, I think, either Patricia's previous interview or maybe the ones that are on my page. But it's all been for a purpose. But I hope that the fact that I was about to cry, even when I'm not meaning to, right, kind of illustrates the power of these simple tapping techniques, and that's just the tip of the iceberg of what the TheoRafa actually does. And again, it's something that I do remotely currently for clients, and it's something that I'm super excited sometime next year. Dates haven't been determined yet, but that it's going to be able to be offered training as an online modality as well. So it's good stuff.
Thank you so much for sharing this, Kim.
It was truly my honor. Thank you.
100% I agree. I mean, this 5 minutes, or I don't know how long it took us, of tapping was already like, getting
Yeah.
things in motion. And but this shouldn't scare people away from working with us. We are trained on how to hold space for that, and also remember that your subconscious mind pushes you only that far, or allows you to work only on a level that you're ready for. So you will never be forced into something you're not able to deal with in sessions with us.
Yes, I love that you brought that up, because I've often thought about that, where people maybe put off healing because, it's going to be too much or too big or too scary, or they need to still function in their life. The body won't let the person reveal more or go past more what they can handle in that moment. Quite the opposite. It will voluntarily provide, okay, here's the roadmap. This is what I'm ready to let go of next, so that I
Yeah.
can move forward and step into my best
Yeah.
life.
And our job is to translate it, so to say,
Yeah.
and to open those pathways. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. But you still have to walk it yourself.
You do. You do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not alone. And that's the
Not
beauty,
alone. That's
but
our
not
job.
alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Kim, thank you so much. That was really beautiful, and wonderful illustration and glimpse into TheoRafa. Yeah. Shall
Thank you
we
for
wrap
the
it up for?
opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, thank you for the opportunity to share this. It's something that is a super powerful tool, and I'm excited to get it out there more predominantly, and share it with the world, and have more practitioners doing it to get more healing out to the world. And again, disclaimer, as always, we do not treat, diagnose, prescribe, or heal, but we come alongside to help your body do that.
Yeah. Beautiful. And I think that's a wonderful ending of our session for today, right?
Yes, I agree.